This is the last smile you'll see on my face for the next however many minutes it takes to get through this. Hi, I'm Mr. Moohead. This is Moohead Radio. Joining with me today, Hammer Time in Columbus, Ohio, and Bronk in merry old England. And I want to warn everybody that I'm going through a tremendous amount of discomfort right now with back spasms and neck spasms. I feel like Kevin Love, except I can't play basketball.
Are you depressed as well?
No, I'm just pissed off. I made the mistake of watching the Guardians, and that's what I'm going to start out talking about because I'm pissed off. Okay. I'm just, look, if you're not trying to win a fucking game, if you're not trying to win a fucking series, if you see that team is 3.5 games behind you, and you do what the Guardians did today, then I don't care about them. I hope they lose the rest of their games and break the White Sox record. Fuck them. They're not serious. The organization is not serious. They're putting bozos on the field. And then you've got Stephen Vogt, who is lucky. He wasn't pulling strings. Things were falling into the right place. But what does he put out there? He's facing their best pitcher. And he's a right-hander. And he goes, I'm going to play as many left-handers as I can, even if they can't hit. Yeah, I'm going to put them all up there, except for lame Thomas, who can't hit right-handed pitchers. We have to start him too. And what we're going to do is this. We're going to start out with Kwan, and then we're going to go, it goes on left-hander after left-hander after left-hander. And I'm looking at the stats, and Ober, the pitcher, has a collective 178 batting average against him with left-handers. They had no chance to win the game, and they can't hit change-ups. Every pitching staff in the league knows the book on the Guardians. They're impatient. They're up there swinging wildly. They don't make contact. They're looking fastball, and they're swinging at every changeup outside the zone. And you have guys who don't belong on the field. Schneemann is not a third baseman. Schneemann is not a shortstop. Schneemann is not a center fielder. Schneemann is not a Major League Baseball player. Why in the fuck is he playing? Why? Somebody has to explain this to me. You've got Noel, who's done nothing but hit some home runs and given you at least a long ball threat, and he's nowhere to be seen. Hell no. We're going to bring Walter Brennan. Yeah, it's me, I'm back. We're going to bring Walter Brennan back, and he had a good day today. Good for him, because it won't last. He'll get hurt. He's, today's Lonnie Chisenhall. And what do? We send Angel Martinez down. He was making consistent, solid contact with the baseball. He made hard outs. Not going to tell you that he knocked the cover off the ball batting average-wise, but he was hitting line drives, and he was doing what he was told to do, which is stop pulling the ball so much like you were doing in AAA and just go with the pitch and hit to the opposite field. And he did exactly what they told him. They fucked him at the drive-through. Down you go. And then this. So Rocchio closes his eyes, wishing that he was a real little boy. This is my Rocchio Pinocchio thing that I remember the movie. What was the movie that it was Boiler Room, and it's like, don't be writing bad contracts. That's Wood. I don't want you writing Wood. Well, I don't want him batting Wood. I mean, Brian Rocchio is a head case to begin with. He's out of control. He's immature. he doesn't belong in the big leagues, and he strikes out in an inordinate amount of time. He takes big wicked swings at the ball, and today he happened to close his eyes and connect with one, and it barely went over the wall. That brought us to 3-2. So what do you do when you've closed to within 3-2? Well, you bring in Eli Morgan, of course. I don't wish anything bad. Okay, I'm not that kind of guy. But when I hurt like I hurt today, I'm not nice. And I've always said this about players who you keep going to the well with them and going to the well with them and going to the well with them. And he got out of the inning, and you brought him back in the next inning. What happened to our bullpen? What in the hell has happened to Hunter Gaddis? What happened to the people who stopped everybody throughout the beginning of the year? Where are they? Instead, we get Nick Sandlin. We get Eli Morgan. We get Pedro Avila. Trump might be right about him. That'll tell you how mad I am. Avila's got nothing, and neither does Eli Morgan. So, of course, they nailed him for the insurance run. Of course they did, because the Guardians don't want to win. And I'll go one step further. They come out of free agency with Lame Thomas. I know. It's lame. Lame Thomas. And you know what? They're making excuses for him in the broadcast. There's, God only knows Matt Underwood, who there's no excuse for. And then you've got 78-year-old Rick Manning. And they're trying to explain, along with Andre Knott, who's interrupting them every 3 words, why Lame Thomas is so lame. And the answer is, well, he's getting used to a bunch of new pitchers, and he's in a whole new league. And I'm saying, what about Arraez, who was with the Twins, was in the National League, leading the National League in hitting? Fuck you. Fuck you. I mean, you're making shit up now. A guy who can hit a ball can hit a ball. And a guy who can't hits 253 with the Nationals and then is hitting 125 in Cleveland. And he strikes out more than an ugly fat man at a bar full of women.
Hey.
I mean, oh my God. I mean, why? And he can't play right field.
Oh, God.
He blew a catch that cost him a game, and on another one, he circled the wrong way and turned the wrong way before he caught it. He can't play right field.
God, that is why Jason Hall.
He is messed up. I mean, at least when you got John Kenzie out there, you got somebody that, even if he does misplay it, he's got a freaking cannon to put it back in the infield.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard to understand how Lame Thomas, we give away prospects. What do we know about prospects?
Nothing.
I mean, please, prospects. Oh, wait a minute. Brian from Phoenix. Is this a joke?
Oh, could be the reach around person.
Yeah, let's see. I'm in a mood for that. Yeah. Hello.
It's the right icon.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Oh my God, it is.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Wow.
Well, like you, I'm a little bit pissed off about 2 separate things.
Fire away, Chief. I figured my one big piss off show, and you'd come back, by golly.
Okay. So, first off, for the city of Cleveland, please, for my family that still fucking lives there, do not give Pimp Daddy Chimmy and Big Mama Day a goddamn red taxpayer cent. Please. And any fucking cocksucker that is either elected or appointed that gives them $461 million to fix up the fucking stadium. Please vote them out.
Yeah, that's the big news in Cleveland. Of
And
course, Brook Park. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, if he wants to create a monument to himself, make him pay for it himself. It ain't like he don't have the money. Remember, he had to put over $200 million in escrow. He had to be liquid enough to do that.
You know what Jimmy
in order
will say?
To fund that contract.
Jimmy will say, "Let me tell you something here. Do you remember somebody named Art Modell? Woo! There's a city out there waiting for me. Yep, there is." If you're the politicians in Cleveland, and you're stuck in this situation, and if you were to lose the Browns to another city, oh God, I mean that would be the end of you, and that's the threat that looms over all of their heads. And it's El Succamundo that it always comes down to the people in the area. The thing that's interesting with me living in Northeast Ohio for half the year, it's interesting because what I see is a movement westward. And it's an interesting thing because I grew up in this part of the country, down in Canton, and all of the things that are west of Cleveland, west of Akron, those suburbs are growing, and the places that are in the city center are demolished, and people are skipping the middle and going directly from the east to the west. And Wadsworth and Medina. I was driving through Medina.
Huge.
Fucking Medina was nothing when I lived here.
There were cows living there.
But now, I mean, all the high-end doctors,
yeah,
all the people, the high-end veterinarians, they're all in Medina. The money is just moving west.
For the cows.
Medina County is up to like 150,000 people.
It's a lot.
Well, then I guess you better buy some real estate in Toledo.
Yeah,
nobody wants to go there.
No, it's not going to go that far west.
No.
Yeah, but
Toledo's even lost its luster now because of going over the border to Michigan for marijuana. You can just get it in Toledo now. So, what is the reason to move to Toledo? But anyway,
where I'm at,
the Mud Hens.
Yeah, where I'm at in Ohio.
Yeah,
if I wanted to go see the Browns and go into the downtown area, with traffic and everything else, it would just be a long time for me to get there. I mean, it would be uncertain how long it might take. And I have the expressways, but all the expressways are torn up with construction right now. It's a presidential election here. That's when all the road work gets done here.
When my parents had to go to the old stadium in the 60s as season ticket holders, they used to park and then ride the bus to the stadium.
Riding the rapid, that's still the best way to go.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
And when they would pile in from Terminal Tower from Schittsburg, they would be already 3 sheets to the wind, and then they'd be stumbling into the stadium with their fucking iron worker hats on.
Double P's asking me, did I lose power? I feel like Scotty from Star Trek. It's
no.
I've lost power. I've lost all my power. It's the dilithium crystals, Captain. Yeah. No, I did not lose power. We had a little glitch and it came back on, and Spectrum had some problems. And that had nothing to do with the rain and all that came in. And down in Florida, my other home, down there, it got very, very wet and windy. But no, didn't lose power down there. So been fortunate in that.
You're a lucky cow, because my old neighborhood in Ohio, they're still without power.
Wow, where's that at?
That's in Parma.
Parma.
You can read that anyway.
Everyone's doing the Parma polka. Yeah. If
true.
you can dance and do the Watusi, you can do the Parma polka too. All right.
Yeah, we even had chrome balls and pink flamingos, lawn jockeys, the whole thing.
I saying no power for 2 days. Tree just missed falling on the house. Yeah, it was bad up there. And what happened here,
Fucking tornado.
it was really nothing here so much. But yesterday, it started pouring rain. We had 6 inches of rain.
Wow.
That's
Well,
more
yeah.
than Bronx. 6 inches.
Wow. Wow.
It was really 3 inches. He just said it was 6 inches.
6
Ah.
correct. Yeah.
So he punched her
Well,
in
it
the
was-
mouth and fucked her twice.
If you guys are talking about the same storm, it was actually a double wave where one swept through and then there was another one immediately behind it.
Yeah,
I still
West-
get the
in
weather from
Ohio?
Channel 3. Yeah, I still get the Channel 3 weather from Cleveland.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
Parma
pretty
and
bad.
Westlake.
Supposedly the power company said everybody should have power back by August the 14th.
Yeah, which is nice.
I'm like,
Yeah, it's
yeah, Fred
really-
Flintstone called. He wants his stuff
Yeah,
back.
his elephant dishwasher doesn't work now.
No, he's just running his feet trying to create something. Yeah. Yeah. At any rate, so the reason I was pissed off, the Guardians don't seriously try to win. The people they get, and you're going to see, whoever's pitching in the second game who hasn't pitched a single ball all season in the major leagues, he's getting the ball. Cantillo, who started this game, the first 4 letters of his name should be a dead giveaway. Dead. He can't. I mean, how is he different than Logan Allen? A guy who throws a 91-mile-an-hour fastball and tries to throw curveballs that are consistently up in the zone, and he's already given up 3 home runs in his limited time at the major league level. You can't be serious about these people. They don't have big league arms.
Why
And
do you
Carlos
think
Carrasco just went on the 15-day injured list. And it's like he's not injured. He's just old.
He just shit. Yeah.
Why do you think after the name change, I decided to call them the Ottawa Guardians? Move them to Canada. That's where they fucking belong. The AA franchise, Ottawa Guardians.
It's hard to believe that all these people that they say are prospects and not a single one of them. I mean, let's take a look at what's happened to Kyle Manzardo, shall we? I mean, that's all we heard about was Kyle Manzardo. Why did the Rays trade him? You know,
'Cause he
the
sucked.
Rays fleeced us for Yandy Diaz, right? So you tell me, why did they trade Kyle Manzardo? He was 2nd round pick, and everyone said, "Oh, this is great for the Guardians." I've watched him play in the whatever few games they brought him up for, his 84 at bats or 82 at bats in the big leagues. Guy's got a slow bat, and he was guessing at pitches. And quite honestly, he doesn't have a defensive position, and he's slow. All right. That's your one of your top guys. Then Chase DeLauder is the other one, and DeLauder has been hurt, and he's got more natural power than Manzardo does, but he's a long ways away from coming up into the league. And then we're doing the John Kenzie stuff, who's 27 years old, and you know where that goes. It goes nowhere. And then you've got Noel, Big Christmas, who, it's not his time of the season, obviously, because they're not playing him. So all of this for what? And now we had the best bullpen in the major leagues. Where are they? And the answer is, well, you're not going to see Class A because we're not in a position to win any of these games. But where is Gaddis? And why did Barlow suddenly become the 8th inning guy and the setup guy when he throws nothing over 91 miles an hour and throws breaking balls that are fat over the middle of the plate? it is.
He doesn't always throw them right over the middle of the plate. Sometimes they're like 6 feet off the plate.
Outside.
Don't forget those.
Well, he's
Yeah.
nibbling. It's like all these pitchers who don't really have the big league arms. They have to be just perfect with the movement on the ball. It's like watching Carrasco pitch. It's just
Sounds like the Greg Maddux effect.
Yeah, well,
They want to
But
be
Maddux was
pinpoint
good.
pitchers, but they don't have that level of control.
correct.
yeah, I was going to say Maddox was good, Brian, right?
Yeah, too many walks and too many falling behind in the count. Too many fat pitches over the middle of the plate, and we have why Austin Hedges is still with this team. I mean, to give you an idea of how fucking pissed off I am when they say, well, Carrasco's got to have a catcher. Why? He can't pitch anymore. You don't bring a guy up and keep him on the roster for one pitcher. You can't be serious. The guy's hitting 147.
That's only
That
147 more than
That
Braun.
used to happen with certain guys. They would have one that would only catch for that guy, and they would carry two catchers. But
Not Carrasco.
those guys, those guys were like,
In their prime?
25. Well, they were 25 game winners,
Yeah.
25,
was
30
like-
game winners, and they were pitching 8-9 innings a game.
Well, yeah, like a
So-
Wakefield or something. You're catching a knuckleballer, so you need a certain kind of guy back behind the plate. But there was somebody else on Cleveland that at one point in time had their personal catcher, and I'm trying to remember who it was, but there was somebody that it seemed like if that person caught them, they were well, but
I
they
think
weren't
Trevor Bauer did.
Yeah, but they weren't batting like a 6th grade boy's
What?
weight.
Who,
You know?
it was Castellano. Or was he the receiver or the catcher?
Boom, boom. Korean porn joke.
Thank you. For those who don't remember Castellano, look it up.
Yeah.
I don't have time or the desire to.
Yeah, you're not into that sort of thing.
No. And DJ
that-
Robot says it all. Thanks to the Dolans for being cheap again and bringing us a bag of balls at the trade deadline. And why anybody thought, I mean, the guy had, Lane Turner hit 28 home runs in one season. And look, it can happen. Brady Anderson hit 51 home
Correct,
runs
yeah.
for the Orioles in one season. It doesn't mean anything. This guy strikes out. I mean, he does-
Gonzalez for the Diamondbacks hit 57 for one season.
yeah, and I don't see any power or pop in Lame Thomas's bat. I just don't
Wow.
see it. So it is what it is, and
It is.
it's unfortunate. But again, for the 100th time, I'm finished with it because I don't care. And it's not because the players; it's the management and the manager of the team who is employing such ridiculous strategy that it makes no sense and it gives the team no chance of winning. And whatever magic was there was a half-season illusion. And you know what it's like? It's like we're getting JB Bickerstaff in the second half of the season with a bunch of minor
Wow.
league players. That's what it feels like. It's no good.
Now you're getting me pissed off.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just don't like it. And if you're looking for any good news, well, Tanner Bybee's going to be back. Yeah, but Henches is not because he re-hurt his arm pitching in AAA. It's and it doesn't matter if Henches was in there. You get Eli Morgan anyway. I don't want a guy who sounds like he's an Amish guy in a tractor. No, Eli, you finish the back 40 before you go on the mound. I mean, I don't need that shit.
He
That
could raise
guy-
a barn now.
He's given up more home runs per innings pitched in the last 3 years. And why is he still here?
Wow.
There's a relief pitcher. He's a gopher ball waiting to happen. He does not
Oh,
have
wow, they're
good
actually-
stuff.
They're actually on a 6-game skid. I didn't realize that.
Oh, but it's being created in a situation like, why would you have the tying run on second base and you let Rocchio hit? Why would you do that? It doesn't
Isn't there
make any
somebody
sense.
else?
Why is it?
You've got Noel on the bench who could theoretically make contact and drive it out of the park, but no. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason. He wants to lose. He's got a death wish.
I know when this skit started. I know the exact moment. It was when Stephen Rose was on the last show, and he asked us point blank whether the Guardians could win 95 games. We said, and I was looking at the schedule. I said, yeah, they could do it. You started, but anyway, yeah. So that's what happened. They've lost every game since. It's the Hedgehog of Doom. That's whose fault it is. Brian may not know the Hedgehog of Doom. He kills more than the Black Dog Death.
Okay. No.
So they're at, let's see, they're at a game count. They're at 115 out of 162.
It does.
Yeah.
The math doesn't matter. They're playing the wrong players and they're panic stricken, and the manager is just panic stricken, and it's
What
over.
did Peter Alice say about
So
this?
are they? So are they going to finish behind? Who's the third place team
Twins.
right now?
Royals.
The Royals.
Are they going to finish behind fucking Detroit?
I don't know about
They're gonna-
that. Maybe.
Well, if you don't play your better players, that's exactly what will happen.
I keep
something-
forgetting Kansas City is in the same division now.
Yeah, KC.
I'm,
But they were
I'm still.
they were talking about, though. I think somebody said at the beginning of July about the bullpen wearing out, right? So
Yeah.
because of how many innings the bullpen had been pitching, because we just don't have anybody that really goes much more than 5 or 6, and with
Only
Beebs
4
out, and
is what's
Four,
been
yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
exactly. But with Beebs out, with Logan Allen up and down like a whatever, Bybee tripping on a freaking line, walking onto the floor or walking onto the field, whatever the heck he did, pulled a groin or something. I don't know what the heck he was doing over there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of crazy. And now you're putting a lot on this bullpen who, we got some stuff there, but I mean, how long are these guys they're pulling out of their hats? They really didn't do anything at the deadline. I mean, Lane Thomas, give me a break. And 1.5. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I was teasing my friends from Minnesota about how the season was over already, and they're like, yeah,
how bad are the Nationals? I mean, it's like, well, I mean, he stepped up to Cleveland, Lane Thomas did, and boy, the pressure's on now. Yeah, well, there was no pressure there because they suck, and but he was only hitting a 253 there, and he had that 128 home run season that he dipped down to 17. He's never hit more than 17 besides that 1 year. He's not a power bat. You can see that by the way he swings. He's worthless, not as a human being. I mean, I don't mean it
we all
that
have
way.
our special talents.
his mom loves him.
Yeah, that's right. And
Yeah.
he's really good, cunnilingus. But as a hitter and a baseball player, no.
Be careful of that HPV, kids.
No, don't go there. No, and if you didn't notice, some of our great prospects, we DFA'd Xavier Curry, and
Great name.
he was
Absolutely
claimed
great
on
name.
waivers by the Marlins.
I was gonna say he's a 4A guy if you've ever heard of one. I mean, he's a straight up 4A guy. He's successful in AAA.
No, he's
He'll
a major
never make
league.
it.
He's a major leaguer in Miami.
In Miami, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
but if the Guardians are a AA franchise, that's a AAA franchise.
Yeah. Jeez.
And now we come to this. I mean, who would have thought that we are one day away from the first preseason game in the NFL? And
We are.
I wanted to do this for Bronk, for Bronk especially,
Okay.
but for myself as well. And I'm going to have to go over this a couple times because this is the stupidest thing.
Oh, you're not singing again, are you?
Singing? No.
You're not singing, okay?
No. I have been doing.
I have to warn my cats. when
other
you start
songs. I've been
singing.
doing other songs, but I've done a bunch of AI songs, but I've been sharing them with my former employees from my radio
I
business.
bet they love that shit.
Oh, they do. No, it's hilarious. They get it.
They
you
get
know.
they get you. They get you. Oh, it's
Yeah,
good that you have
You
somebody
become
out
a
there who
stick
gets
in the
you.
mud, Grey Poupon eating Brit. That's what you are.
I
So
do have some Grey Poupon in the cover, by the way.
the NFL kickoff rules, I want to go over them so that I understand it and so that everyone understands.
Yeah, it's
it, okay?
Aussie rules rugby is what it is.
I had to sit through the whole Panthers game, and I still don't understand it.
That's why I'm doing this, because
Oh, okay.
it just looks like to me
so,
what is it that
a
electric
relay.
football game that we had when we were kids.
Coleco, electric football.
Yeah.
Nelson, you spin around in a circle.
I always wondered why the girls just sat on that.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. All right, the kicker will still kick off from his own 35-yard line. So
He
you'll
will.
see him right there on 35-yard line. But his teammate...
For now, it's a place kicker. It could be somebody else with
Yeah,
the
exactly,
distance.
Brian. Yeah, they don't need a real proper kicker to kick this. Yeah.
And no, Rick, not Stratomatic. Stratomatic was the card game. There's nothing better than a sports game with no action. That's the game that Paul DePodesta played when he was a little kid.
There was another one that was really good. Before the show's over, I'll have to see if I can remember it though. But
Yeah.
What a card
TV
game?
football or something? I can't remember.
Oh,
Well,
sports
there was
Illustrated.
there
It
was
was-
APBA football that was played with cards.
No,
Yes,
Bronx,
that's
there's
right.
one you and I used to do.
Oh,
it
God.
was you know what I'm talking about, with the spinning the thing and whatever the
Yeah,
heck
yeah,
it was.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. My dad had the baseball version.
Wow.
Oh, anyway,
Anyway,
whatever.
So the kicker.
Let's get back to kick. Let's get back to kicking.
Yep. He
Yeah,
still
you're-
kicks off from his own 35-yard line.
Yeah, he kicks
But
off
his
from 35.
teammates, shut up, Bronk. But his teammates will line up on the opponent's 40-yard line. all right?
40-yard line.
So he's all by his lonesome on his own 35. And everybody's going to be up on the opponent's 40-yard line,
Correct.
with the receiving team required to line up 7 or more players between the 30 and 35-yard lines in the setup zone. So let me picture this for you. Can't get no fucking running starts now, because you're going to be on the 40-yard line if you're the Browns player and the Browns are kicking off. All right. And the receiving team will have 7 men 5 to 10 yards away from you. All right. So that is called the setup zone.
Zone.
All right. So only the 1 or 2 players in the landing zone, and the landing zone is between the goal line and the 20-yard
20-yard
line,
line. Okay.
can move before the ball is either caught or hits the ground. So only 2 men can move before the ball is either caught or hits the ground. If the ball lands in the landing zone and goes through the end zone, the offense starts at their own 20. If the ball is downed or lands in the end zone, resulting in a touchback, the drive starts at the 30. If the kickoff is short of the landing zone and lands out of bounds, it starts at the 40. But what happens if somebody fucking catches the ball?
They get killed.
You know what I feel like? I feel like I'm in that movie Scanners. It's like,
Your head's going to explode if you go past a certain point.
who figured this out? Is this the same guy who made the poofy protective helmets to give people
I think
more
it was
damage?
D. Haslam. D. Haslam did it.
I mean, I still don't understand. I still don't understand it. So let's go.
This is super small, but I might be able to share this.
Okay.
This is kind of a picture of what this shit looks like. Where's? Damn it!
I'm looking for
There
that
was
too, DeAndre. We'll talk about Cedric Tillman. I want to get an idea of what receiver who's actually 6'3" and has a big body does for the Cleveland Browns, because everyone
Never
else,
had
I
one.
mean, Jerry Jeudy is now hurt. I mean, Judge
No.
Judy. We also have Judge Judy in the slot.
How's
All
the
of
slot?
them.
Shit, I forgot.
Slut? I didn't say
Oh,
that
the
Judge
slot.
Judy was a slut.
Oh, I thought you said
Come
slit.
on.
That's what's his name from Boston? Anyway, photoelectric football. By the way, that's what I was thinking of.
Photoelectric football.
Wow,
Yeah,
that
it's the
sounds
one that had a little.
pornographic.
You had a little light bulb, and you kind of slid the thing.
The 3 thing. It was like a handheld thing.
It was like it was on a
fucking
thing.
awesome.
No, we had that. We had a handheld one. And
The
then this
handheld
other
one
had
was
like a light
awesome.
bulb. But that was the Mattel thing or whatever. That yeah. But this was
Yeah,
the one
the
where you
three
put the little.
guys.
You picked this one. You picked a play, and the other person picked a play, and you slid them into this little thing, and then you had turned on a light
Something
bulb. And you
happened.
slowly moved it over, and wherever they
Right now, I'm
intersected, that was
picking
the-
my nose. That's what I.
Oh, the handheld game with the 3 guys was great.
Yeah, that was pretty
fantastic.
good.
At any rate, as the show gets hijacked about some kind of arcane electric football game, I still don't completely get this, except that if the ball lands, if it hits the ground and goes through the end zone, which why would that ever happen? Why would somebody let the ball hit the fucking ground
In
and
the first place.
and hope that it goes into the end zone when the other team can recover the ball?
Yeah, I just have one question. Is it still a free kick? Can the kicking team recover the ball?
Oh, it's not telling me that. I have no idea. So,
And
you
nobody
know,
can move until somebody touches it or something like that.
Or
and
is it a
nothing other
punt?
than the
only
the
two
two
men can move,
right.
and that's before the ball is either caught or hits the ground. So they can kind of be moving around saying, I think you're going to kick it this way, or I think you're going to kick it that way.
Well, the ball's going to be in the air. Somebody's got to go under it and try to catch it.
Oh, not necessarily if you're the Browns. We haven't had any special teams in ages. So
Well, that's why they hired a bunch of these guys. They did actually go out. A lot of teams went out looking for specifically people who could return that are going to end up getting a spot on a roster as a return person who may necessarily not be able to do
you know what's
anything
funny
else.
about that, though?
I think
What-
this is from the Hall of Fame game, but you can kind of see on the hopefully you guys can kind of see on the picture. The two teams are lined up, and then there's a little green box that you have to kick the ball into from the 20-yard line to the goal line. And then there's either one or two guys back there to receive the ball, depending on where the ball ends up. And then it's just the goofiest fucking thing ever. And the average starting spot was like the 22-yard line in the Panthers game for both sides.
Yeah, I mean, it's not exciting, and it's way overthought. And so we get Nyheim Hines, and he's injured,
dead.
Yeah. And so now what they're saying is, well, maybe Deontay Foreman. No.
Gary Baxter, bring him back.
But it's telling me that nobody expects anything to happen on this. That you're just better off starting at your own 20-yard line like it used to be in the first place, and everything old is new again.
Because they're kicking in front of the goal line, I don't think that they're allowing touchbacks anymore. I think you have to receive the ball if it's in the field of play,
even if it's in the end zone.
No,
It's in the
I'm
end
saying
zone. If
if
you kick in the end zone, then it's going to be
Yeah, it's not.
you're going to get a
free-
30
I'm
out.
saying you can't, but I'm saying you can't let the ball
Die.
like roll into the end zone for a touchback anymore.
Mhm.
You got to fall on it
Or you
like
have,
a grenade.
You got to catch it and run with it,
No.
even if you only make it to the 10-yard line.
I mean,
So- It's- It's
we'll
really
see.
weird.
We'll see what happens
I'll
tomorrow.
tell you what scares the shit out of me is going to get. It says, "Well, it's going to take some getting used to for coaches and players and fans alike." And then we have assistant head coach and special teams coordinator Bubba Ventrone. So we have Bubba to figure this out.
Bubba will
That
sort it
makes
out.
me feel very, very positive about all of this.
Hey, it could be Freddie Kitchens.
Probably is doing that for some team.
Well, maybe the gadget plays. I think coaches and teams are going to save a lot of their schemes for the regular season, Bubba said. I don't think you'll see a lot of variety in the preseason games.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty much just a straight return. But I think that the kicking team will, like, if the guy tries to kick the ball through the end zone or over the end zone like they used to, I think they get a penalty now.
Well, we're going to find out because the game's at 4:25 tomorrow. You can catch it on WEWS TV for all the preseason games in the greater Cleveland, Akron area. So there's that. As far as running backs, besides Nick Chubb, they're saying, well, Jerome Ford took over Chubb's role as the lead back. No, he didn't. No. He was on the field. He didn't. No, there was no replacement. No. And so now we have Deontay Foreman, and he got the scare of his life, what turns out to be something less than what they thought it was. He returned to the practice field yesterday. So, what are we looking for? Well, you're going to see a lot of Pierre Strong and John Kelly Jr., but I've already seen that. There's only so many times you can watch the hedgehog guy fuck women in porn movies. I mean, it's kind of like, is he in every one of these? Remember back in you may be too young to remember, but why am I not even dredging that? What was his name? The hedgehog.
Ron Jeremy.
Ron Jeremy,
right.
Ron Jeremy.
He would just
Luciano Pavarotti.
He just show up, man. He just show up in every movie. I mean, it was just ridiculous. And it was like it wasn't that good. And
had a unique talent.
Yes, he did. But Pierre Strong and John Kelly Jr., I don't need to see that. I don't know why they're assessing the same players over and over again who failed in the past.
Okay.
If you couldn't beat out the Cincinnati guy for the running back position or even to get any meaningful snaps, Pierre Strong, why? And John Kelly Jr. couldn't even beat out Pierre Strong.
Yeah. Got a question for the panel. Whoever comes closest gets a coffee mug. How old is John Kelly Jr.?
29.
He'll be 28 in October.
Yeah, well, he's done.
Yeah, I mean, what's he even in camp for? I mean, at this point, he's been around for like 4 or 5 years.
He's a warm body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that go to camp that are just there so that, I mean, think about it. For the most part, after, the first quarter, most of those guys are going to be working at the Citgo in a couple of weeks. I mean,
Citgo.
Pilot J.
He might get on the pilot. Yeah, the Flying J or the pilot.
The opposite of camel toe. They're going to fake Indian accents.
God.
Oh, don't go there. Not on this program. We're not going there.
That was the second one that I wanted to bring up. There's an asshole from South Carolina that Mark, that I hate with a very much passion. The butt boy of Mitch McConnell and John the Traitor McCain, who got in a committee and said that, for the safety of everyone, we should take away more rights. Please, for the love of God, contact your congressmen and your senators and have them kill any bill or legislation that fucker puts forth.
Well, right now I'm just very quiet about everything. All I know is there's a guy on the internet now who's coming up on my timeline, and I don't even know his name. He does a great Trump impersonation, and he is by far the best Trump impersonator that I've heard. And I will get his name because I want to, push some of my 6 viewers toward him, because it's funny.
I would say
We're all here.
James-
We're all
James-
here right now.
James Austin Johnson that's on SNL. I mean, that's the reason why he got the gig.
This guy's
He's very,
better.
very good.
This guy's better because it's just the way he times it and the things that he says. It's just really, it's just priceless. At any rate,
We were talking about running backs.
yeah,
Let's get back to
Aiden
that.
Robbins,
Oh,
all right,
Aiden Robbins. Who's
a
that?
big-bodied rookie.
Big-bodied.
You know, they're
Ooh.
looking for him to make an impact on both kick and punt return teams as a blocker or tackler. In other words, he's a tackling dummy. He's a guy.
He's a fullback.
Yeah, he's a guy who you're never going to see on the field except being
Ron
carried off
Wolfley.
the field. Big-bodied, big-bodied gets you 2 or 3 years before your career is over on special teams.
Touchdown.
Well, I don't
Tony
know.
Vardell.
Ron Wolfley had like an 11 or 12-year career, mostly on special teams. He
Now-
was he was breaking up the wedges,
remember-
and then he
I
was
remember
also
Ron.
on.
Yeah, it's a good grab there.
Here's what Deuce
I
Staley.
watched him play in Tempe. So
When Deuce, here's what Deuce Staley said about this big-bodied rookie, Aiden Robbins. He comes into the building with a hard hat. He's got a sledgehammer, and he's ready.
Yeah.
Hard
He's
what?
learning.
Hard hat.
Okay,
He's
I'm sorry.
learning.
Nuh-uh.
One of the smartest, definitely one of the smartest in the room. How smart could he be
How
if he's
smart is he?
deciding that what he wants to do for a living will end up in brain damage within a few years?
Yeah.
He's taking great notes. He can still read and write. Just being able to take in the room what he's learning onto the field, and that's what he's doing well. So isn't that
Wow.
lovely?
hey, so moving on to the receivers room,
Yes.
what's going on? What's going on with the malcontent that they picked up?
Which
Which
one are you
one?
referring to?
Oh, that's right.
Can you
have a
narrow
room
that
full
down,
now.
please?
The one from Denver.
Oh, Judy,
Oh,
Jerry
Judy?
Judy.
Judy.
Jerry Judy kind of re-injured himself, and he's been an in and out player his whole career. And I don't know what the hype about him is for. I don't get it, but yeah, we're gonna see because he's gonna be out on the field playing. And I wanted to do DeAndre, in the chat room. I wanted to mention about Tillman because
Lawyer.
yeah,
Tillman.
I'm seeing some of the practice footage, and it would be nice if we had a sizable receiver who can go up for the ball in the red zone besides David Njoku, and somebody who might have the ability to catch the ball in traffic, who has the hands and enough speed, that you can't overplay him. He could get behind you. That's kind of what Cedric Tillman is until we see him at full speed. If he's still running the wrong patterns, it doesn't matter. If he's learned something, then, we'll see.
Wow.
But the problem again with the Browns, I mean, you've got Amari Cooper, who's just ducky when he's healthy, but that's only about 10 games a season.
Yeah.
You've got Jerry Judy, who was an underachiever, and Elijah Moore, who was an underachiever, and you start thinking they weren't underachievers. That's just their level. And
Correct.
I'm, and if I see Brandon Ayuk's name come up one more time, Double P,
You're gonna shoot somebody.
yeah, I will. It's what they do. They being the NFL, they make it look like, well, it's a 3-team race. You got the Patriots, the Browns, and the Steelers are out of it. Wait, the Steelers are back in it, and it's like, well, now I know this is a goddamn McMahon script for the WWE. This is,
Yeah.
I've seen this script so many fucking times, and it will be like, well, we don't know where he's going, and Pittsburgh hasn't come up with the magic offer yet. And what you're going to find out is that Brandon Ayuk is going to go to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh will end up getting rid of Pickens.
Correct.
And people will go, well, God, Pickens really has a future, but he's a psychopath, you see.
Future where? San
Prison.
Quentin?
Yeah.
Prison.
And what will happen is they'll find out that Pickens is on dope with the next team he goes to, which will be the 49ers, and the Steelers will have gotten Brandon Ayuk for nothing. And everyone will be like, oh, the goddamn Steelers are so smart.
No.
Fuck that.
Pickens will end up in Las Vegas with the Raiders, and then he'll fucking ram into some chick and her dog in an SUV and kill them in a fire.
Oh, well, that's something
specific.
to look forward to. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Very
that's very
uplifting.
dark. It's very Dolphins-esque. You could be in Miami and do that.
So, yeah, but the whole Brandon Ayuk thing, and then they're saying, yeah, I think Andrew Berry's playing the Steelers just to drive the price up. It's like, this is already, it's like, do you really want Brandon Ayuk is the first question, because he wasn't happy in San Francisco.
He could be happy here.
And he's dragging his feet. So I don't even mention him because he's not coming to Cleveland.
Doesn't that
Well,
sound
and-
like
and you're
every
talking about-
Cleveland? I was gonna say, doesn't that sound like every Cleveland guy ever? She'll be
Yeah.
happy here.
I just don't want the prima donnas. I want guys who work. And I'll tell you, Cedric Tillman has appeared to have worked hard in the offseason. How it's going to relate, we're going to find out once we get into these preseason games. But
Well, and the other thing with Ayuk, you're only if he moves to another team, at most he's going to catch like 50-55 passes a year. It's not like you're going to get a guy that's going to set the world on
he can
fire
stretch the
and
field.
score and catch 130 passes.
But
all
the
of a sudden.
assumption, the funny assumption is that if Pittsburgh gets him and he can stretch the field, you're assuming that Justin Fields is going to be
find
able to
him.
hold
Yeah.
on to the ball long enough for him
Yeah.
to get down the field. And, I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure about Justin Fields at all. And all we're seeing is this preseason hype. My God, he looks great. He's only thrown one interception. And it's like, there's no contact. Please. I mean, it's just like DTR. DTR looks great again.
That's exactly what I was thinking. DTR looks so good in the preseason that, yeah.
Hey,
Don't
I'd
mean
rather
nothing.
I'd rather have Donovan than fucking Bryce Young. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, I mean, it's.
I mean, they were already joking about the 7th grader that was showing up to OTAs.
Ugh.
Again, he looked
Yeah.
even thinner than he did last year.
Yeah, I mean, I understand if you're Pittsburgh that you can't trust 35-year-old Russell Wilson who's hurt again,
Old.
and you bring in Fields, and what you're doing is you're covering because you said that Russell Wilson would be the starting quarterback, and now you're kind of like, at 35 years of age, what does he have left? And Russell Wilson's attitude isn't particularly good either. And
That's
that's
why I call him Russell Simpson.
well, what you're going to get is you're going to get Ben Roethlisberger II, which is get rid of the ball in 2.2 to 2.4 seconds. But with Justin Fields, you get a different issue. It's like he wants to be Lamar Jackson, but he's not.
He's not.
And I can't tell you how many plays for the Bears he went back to pass. He was buying himself time and went down 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, he hasn't proven to be at this point in tight coverage and in game speed that he can pick out the receivers and read, do his necessary progressions and reads. But the Steelers have to do something because Russell Wilson may be a pillar of salt by the time the season begins, and they're going to be stuck with a very athletic, but a guy with a bumpy road history as an NFL starting quarterback. And the last two things, or more than two things, because Roethlisberger has to count in there too, and so does Duck Devlin, and so does a bunch of the other people who played. They haven't really hit it right at quarterback for all the talk about what a great organization the Steelers are. No, I mean, Mason Rudolph, it's like, no, I mean, there's, and
they can always
Pickett,
rely
Little
on
Hands Pickett. Yeah.
Yeah, they can always rely on Dwayne Haskins. Oh, Sorry.
Ow. Ow.
So at any rate, what
Now,
are we
there
really
is-
going to be looking at and divining from this preseason game? And the answer is we're not going to find out a hell of a lot. What we're going to do is see how Jameis Winston looks throwing to third string receivers and people who don't have a chance to
John
make.
Kelly Jr.
And sitting behind a third and fourth string line.
And I've heard that James Hudson looks
No.
worse this year than last year and the year before.
God.
And
How's
I
that
think-
possible?
By the way, is Chubb running yet?
Who?
Chubb? Nick
No.
Chubb?
Oh, he's sprinting, but
oh, you
It's
don't want
straight
him to
line.
play.
It's straight line stuff.
No,
Yeah.
he's actually doing cutting work too. But
Is he?
he's not going to play the first 4 weeks of the season. There's no way.
No.
I mean, could you imagine if they let him
Well,
play in the first 4 weeks and he ended
oh,
up going
God.
down?
Oh,
That
no,
would
no,
just
no.
be.
No.
That would
You
be
don't
the
You
do
always
that.
have
career.
Kareem. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, Kareem. Yeah.
What we know is that Jameis Winston will get the start on Saturday. Tyler Huntley and Dorian Thompson-Robinson will have a roughly equal split of the remainder of the game. So I guess the way I see it is probably 2 possessions for Jameis Winston because you can't afford to get him hurt. And then you'll have the 2 little guys, little-armed, weak, feeble guys, Tyler Huntley and Dorian Thompson-Robinson, fighting it out for the number 3 slot.
I'm kind of interested to see DTR to see how he comes off that hip, though. Because that's one of those things that he does bring to the table, which is the same as Huntley. Really, is that mobility?
You
But I
know,
wonder if he can move.
you know something? The press was commenting, comparing the injury to Bo Jackson's.
Oh,
my
shoot,
God.
that's career ending.
That's yeah. What do they call it when everything wastes away? There's a medical expression, and hip
Oh, God.
dysplasia.
Like,
Nah, hip
No.
dysplasia just comes out. It's just,
that's like
it's like a
Albert Bell.
necrosis or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
necrosis, right?
Necrosis. That's
And
everything dying.
you
Like
don't want to
a
hear
loss of blood supply to the hip.
you
Yeah.
don't want to
Favorite
hear
drink,
your
Ron.
backup quarterback with hip and
Thank you.
Bo Jackson in the same
Here all
thought
week.
pattern. Not good. So,
Yeah.
Okay,
but at,
you know
at
who
any
I
rate, go ahead.
Sorry. You know who I want to see come back for the preseason? Damon Sheehy Giuseppe. Let's bring back some homeless bug
Oh.
and give him a chance to run back a touchdown. Wasn't that the best ever Browns preseason moment when he did that?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I don't even
think
That was
remember
the
that.
highlight for that entire
Oh.
season.
You don't
I think
remember the
Holmes-
homeless guy who ran back
Oh.
a kickoff in the
He wasn't a
final
homeless
preseason?
guy. Come
He
on.
was. He absolutely was.
He basically like
No,
was
he was
standing
from
there
here.
with a
He
little-
went to
he had a little he had a little sign or something that says please hire me or whatever like that on the
Yeah,
street.
yeah. He was like living in his car for 2 years.
Yeah, what's he doing now?
Let's look him up.
Working at
Yeah.
the Sitco, probably. There you go.
Yeah, no, I would imagine he's rooming.
I think
He's rooming with
I think-
Delonte West. That's what
He is with an American.
I-
He's in Italy. He's in Italy.
I was
with
going
an
to say
American
he ended up.
football
I
team.
thought he ended up going to play. Yeah, he went going to play somewhere. I remember that.
He
because-
went to Canada and now he's in Italy.
How about that?
He's still
Yeah.
alive. 29
Oh.
years old.
The problem I see is still Amari Cooper getting injured, Jerry Jeudy not. I mean, we have a bunch of guys who, at their fastest, ran
4.8.
4.5, 40s, and they're older now, and they don't run that fast. And then you've got Elijah Moore, who is the fastest runner who never gets more than 8 yards downfield. So, and and again, Njoku would be a much bigger target and weapon if we had somebody who could get down the field and clear the middle of the field instead of coagulating it. And that's been a problem for the Browns and the play calling, which will stay with Kevin. This has been the ongoing problem, and why we have 3 tight ends on the field at one time is that we don't get receivers who get open. So keep your eye on 2 guys. Cedric Tillman would be one, and the other would be Thrash, the the rookie out of Louisville, and that is what you're going to be looking at, because I don't see that any other wide receivers are of interest really to be concerned with. And you may end up with a guy like Watkins from last year, a guy who will show but isn't really ready to play in the NFL. So there's that.
Well, you could have my problem where they got rid of 4 guys that all had the same build and drafted another guy to replace those guys who's exactly the same thing and still can't catch the ball.
And who would that be?
Leggett from South Carolina. They got rid of Chenault. They got rid of another guy that was like 6'2", 215, 220.
So who is your team these days?
Oh, I'm still with the Panthers.
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So you could have my problem and have Boobs McGinty running your football operations by grabbing David Tepper's penis. So,
Well,
speaking of stalking like that, I was listening to the radio the other day, and Chris Hansen from To Catch a Predator is doing a commercial for Viagra and online Viagra. And I'm like, Chris, you don't fool me. This is straight entrapment, okay? He's like, this is a straight entrapment commercial. I'm telling you right now, I just want to go and have a little fun with the wifey, but you're going to come over to my house and go, you know who this is, by the way? Yeah, and then the cops will be all outside. So yeah.
The other dipshit commercial that I saw during the game was for the younger generation. They had a Final Fantasy VII commercial for ended up talking about mental health. A 30-year-old video game talking about mental health. It was great.
Rob, at the end, Dak Prescott held out of Friday practice due to ankle soreness. They're going to be the opponents of the Browns week 1 of the regular season. So the Cowboys are now, again, Dak Prescott held out of practice due to ankle soreness, and there's that. And the last thing is that the Patriots have released Juju Smith-Schuster, and because
there you go, you can add another malcontent.
Well, but wait a minute. Here's the thing.
There's more.
Wait, there's more.
The thing that's interesting is they said they have a younger infusion of youth, including Jalen Polk, 2nd-round pick, and Javon Baker, a 4th-round pick. And that and the fact that Smith-Schuster was dropping passes in training camp. But they're talking about a youth infusion. But Smith-Schuster is 27. He's only 27.
God.
Wow.
But he's too old. So
it's like the young lady I worked with last night who was 30, who's starting to have aches and pains. I went, oh, honey.
Oh, no.
I hope for her sake they're not menstrual cramps that are.
No, it was elbow.
Oh,
her elbow was hurting. Yeah, I said you just need to get yourself a boyfriend. They'll say, never mind.
No,
yeah, exactly.
Don't go there.
Speaking of the Patriots, there is a guy on their squad that other teams may be looking at very soon, and that's Joe Milton, the quarterback. Very steady, very easy throwing, and he's actually dropped weight from when he was at Tennessee. So he's now a very lean guy.
He's buff.
At 6'5", 235, he's still built like a fucking middle linebacker.
Yeah, big guy.
Did Mrs. Milton find him boring too? I'm sorry.
Oh, Animal House people.
My God.
Satan.
All right. So I'm done.
Dick Goddard. You gotta have Dick Goddard.
I'm glad
you made a whole hour, Moo. I'm impressed.
You're the
an entire hour. You know what? Actually,
has ice on it and it's numb.
Actually, I believe Brian is the reason why, because Brian infused you with some definite. The whole mood of the room changed when Brian came on.
It did. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I wanted to say thanks, Brian, for popping in. You're welcome here. And the only guy who has really worn out his welcome is the Ravens fan. Whatever. And
What's his? Fucking hell, I can't even remember his
Joe,
name now.
he's fine.
Joe
Joe.
Shipley.
Joe
Yeah,
shithead. He's a shithead.
Come
But
on.
I say this
Not that
always
bad.
before the season because it's just a rivalry thing, and I just get all over his case because Lamar Jackson is
Yeah.
overrated and all that. So we start beating
Well,
the
he's-
drum early this
at-
year.
At least he has the Orioles to root for and be happy about for the
Oh,
summer.
they're
For
great.
now. For
They're
now.
a great team.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they got an
They're
offense.
They're over 500. They're winning. They're actually like going back and forth with the Yankees in first place. So
Yeah, they're
he's got something
good.
to cheer for.
I got to get out of here, folks. I'm starting to hurt even
You-
worse. So
Oh,
this
you're not going
numbing
to do a
thing-
weather report.
the numbing. No, I'm not.
You know.
Go fuck yourself, Bronk. I heard. I just want to say, as Dick Goddard, that sometimes my back cramps up and I end up with muscle spasms. And, it just makes me want to say, I'm sorry for the people in Westlake, but fuck you, I heard. Okay? That's all I want to say. And go shove a woolly bear up your ass. All right.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Brian, don't be a stranger. And of course, Hammer Time and Moose, you're always welcome. And tell everybody
Yes.
else they're welcome to.
Tell all your three friends.
That's
Yeah.
it. And then we can double our viewership.
Both of them.
All right. Thanks for joining us today. And I will be around again whenever I'm around next, probably Monday, to talk about the aftermath of the Browns preseason.
Oh, you're not doing
game.
the post-game show or a pre-game
No,
show?
no,
or an halftime
only-
show or
Only in dress rehearsal mode, week 3 of preseason, which there is none.
is
So,
there? Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll figure it out as we get a little closer. But thanks to everybody, and until next
I
time,
can't believe you're not
hasta
doing
la
the show.
vista, pasture heads. Bye bye.
Boo.
Bye-bye.